Hey guys, in this video we're going to be solving the problem that you see right over here, and this was in the community tab as I put my problems before I do these videos, so hopefully you had a chance to solve it. If not, pause the video and write down your answers and then compare your solution to mine. Okay, well let's take a look at this position. A few things you might have noticed right away. Our rook on b7 is hanging, as well as our knight on f3. So our solution probably involves maybe moving one of those pieces. That would seem like the logical, couple logical candidates. We also have to consider that our opponent's king is exposed. So definitely these elements of these, taking care of these hanging pieces, as well as somehow exploiting the position of black's king, may come into the solution. One of the things you may have considered here is that this knight can be captured with check. So our solution, one of our candidates would either be to eliminate this knight or to make our check ourselves with either rook to d7 check or rook to b8 check. Okay. Normally I would examine the checks first, but let's take a look actually at this knight move, because a couple interesting lines here, actually one main interesting line that I looked at, and it is knight takes e5, and after rook to b7, which would be the natural move to try to consider, we now have knight to f7 check, and after rook takes f7, bishop takes f7. And I think we can assess this position. We see we are a pawn up with a decent position. Black's king, although it was exposed before, may be a little better placed for the upcoming endgame here to be able to stop this passed pawn. But I think we can consider here that white has a definite edge. Maybe not so large of an edge, but definitely an advantage. So that may have been one of the lines that you looked at. However, it's not white's best line of play. Well, seeing that the knight variation is okay, hopefully you decide to look for something more, especially examining these checks. Now, you can quickly dismiss rook to d7 check, because after knight takes d7, you're going to lose too much material. So hopefully you looked at rook to b8 check, and king to c7 is forced. And here you might have looked at rook to c8 check to keep the attack going. And after either king to b7 or king to b6, let's just play it to b7 here, you might have thought, well, I have rook to b1 check. And after the king goes to a7, you might want to take care of this hanging knight. So knight takes e5 is natural, and after something like f takes e5, then rook b to b8 doubles up on the 8th rank and is attacking this through this pinned bishop. So white's going to win a bit of material. For example, bishop to g7, rook takes h8, bishop takes h8, and rook takes h8, and white is ahead by a piece, and so should be able to win the game. Let's go back. After rook to b8 check, king to c7, you may have hopefully thought of other ideas here, and the idea being that, well, this king is so exposed, do I have a checkmate? And you might have explored those ideas with rook to c8 check and saw that nothing really happened there, and maybe you fell back on that other line, which of course is winning. But it took me a little while, but rook f to b1, with the idea that you're casting this mating net around the king, and black can take this knight with check, but the problem is after the king moves to h1, there's no more checks, and this knight cannot participate in the defense. Now, no matter what black does. Okay, if we take here, for example, we have checkmate. This checkmate is unstoppable now. And this problem is a little tricky because the other line that I just showed you, where you double rooks on 8th rank, is also a winning line. However, we are not in a game with a clock running, so this is one of those problems I chose because I wanted to really practice, or I wanted to help you to practice that axiom of when you see a good move, look for a better one. And even though you may have said, well, that other line was really good, and it is really good, with the king so exposed, and again, it being a training problem, I would encourage you to always continue. Do I have something better here? You know, can I possibly checkmate this king? And if you looked hard enough and you kept asking yourself those questions, hopefully you found the answer. Let me know down below if you found the answer, the checkmating answer, or if you just fell back on the other line. When I first solved this problem, I saw the previous line where I win a bit of material, and I thought that was the solution. And so I was a little bit shocked when I saw that I could actually checkmate the king. But then after I studied the problem, I saw that it was fairly logical to at least look for it. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you got the solution, that's great. Definitely a tricky problem, at least because there are a couple good lines and you're looking for the best line. If you didn't get it, it's okay. The key here is to keep practicing, learn from your mistakes, and then get better. So with that in mind, I put up my video here on analyzing your games, because that is one of the biggest sources of our errors that we can learn from. So check that video out. It's one of my older videos and one of my most popular videos. If you haven't seen it yet, you may find it very useful. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.